A very good evening and welcome. This is Weekend Primetime News here on MTV Sports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Tirugal Bandara. As always, let's start to look at your headlines tonight.
Possibility of the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital shutting down due to waste management issues. Motor accident in Koskama claims the lives of two brothers. Kurunegala Pradesh Sabha members utilise public funds to engage in a tour of Thailand, submitting false reports. Traditional exports in the country have changed. A statement by K.D. Lal Kanta.
Well, we start off with an unfortunate incident where two brothers of the same family were killed in a motor accident which occurred in the Koskama area in Avisavilla today.
The accident took place at around 3:30 early this morning in the Alut Ambalame area in Koskama. The accident was the result of a collision between a private bus flying from Colombo to Avisavilla and a jeep travelling from Avisavilla to Colombo. According to the police, the two brothers aged 23 and 26 who were travelling in the jeep sustained severe injuries. The police added that the victims succumbed to their injuries upon admission to the Avisavilla hospital.
We heard a noise at around 3 a.m. We stepped out and witnessed a jeep had met with an accident. Two people were inside the vehicle. One had died on the spot. We pulled out the other person and took him to the hospital. We were later informed that he too had succumbed to his injuries.
The police said that the driver of the private bus was arrested on suspicion. Our correspondent said that the victim's jeep and the private bus were towed to the Koskama police station.
The spill gates of several reservoirs in the Central Hills have been opened following incessant rains experienced in the area. The irrigation department noted that some rivers are overflowing at some locations. Meanwhile, a number of houses in Galle were inundated as a result of the inclement weather conditions being experienced in the southern province.
The Moragoda Ala has burst its banks due to the continuous rain being experienced in the southern province and has resulted in 150 homes being inundated. The village of Didiswatta, Samagiwatta and Moragoda have been inundated. According to our correspondent in the area, the water levels of some houses have risen to nearly 1.5 feet. Area residents charge that the Moragoda Ala has begun to overflow due to it being blocked in certain areas.
They will come for 2 or 3 days and prod around with sticks without doing a proper job.
Meanwhile, unusually strong tides have been witnessed in the coastal areas of Sinigama and Akurala in Galle. Our correspondent in the central province noted that the continuous rains experienced in the area have resulted in the water levels of the reservoirs increasing. Meanwhile, the Lakshapana reservoir have begun to overflow. Spill gates at the Canyon reservoir have been opened by 3 inches each. The Castlereagh and Mouse-Cally reservoirs have also reached spill level. The engineer in charge of the Castlereagh reservoir notes that the spill gates of the reservoir could be opened if the rain persists and advised the residents living in areas below the reservoir to remain vigilant. According to the irrigation department, the water levels of a number of rivers have risen. This is the situation of the Kalyan River as of this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Athanagalu Oya has reached spill level in the Dunamale area. The irrigation department also noted that minor floods could occur in the Badegam area due to the Ginganga, Milakand area due to the Kaluganga and Panadugam area due to the Nilvala river. Gale force winds which were experienced in the Kumbukan area in the Munaragli district caused damage to around 10 houses. This is the manner in which trees were uprooted along the Kandy Matale road which runs through Habaragala due to strong winds experienced in the area. The inclement weather has also caused damages to a bridge on the Vatakala road in Panvila.
Well, Katrina Chan joins us now with the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
A very good evening and welcome to Weather First.
The Department of Meteorology states that showers and thundershowers may be experienced in the western, Sabragamo and central parts of the island. Showers may also be experienced in the northwestern parts of the island as well. Now, the department also adds that showers may be experienced in Agol and Matra district as well as several areas across the island in the next 24 hours. The department also mentions that due to the existing weather condition, sea areas off the coast extending from Colombo to Hambantota via Agol may increase up to 70 kilometers per hour, resulting in rough seas.
Where residents of Polonnaruwa state that the drought conditions in the area persist even though they have experienced several showers of spells. This story is about a village in the Polonnaruwa district which continues to face the dire effects of the drought.
50 families in the Kadrugasbaba village continue to face difficulties due to the drought conditions. Farming is the only livelihood for nearly 200 persons residing in the village, yet they only cultivate on 30 acres of farmland.
We couldn't reap a harvest during all 3 seasons. They only come here to obtain our votes. We bow our heads and talk about our issues, yet there is no one to look into our hardships. The government gave us an empty barrel. It was our Thero that provided water.
The villagers have been surviving for the past 1.5 years by relying on labour work. However, the drought conditions has hindered their work.
We don't have anything to eat or drink because of this drought. We survive on manual labor. Even that is not there these days. We only need water and some relief, nothing else. The government has not given us anything. We now drink water from tanks where usually cows bathe.
We don't have water to drink. Some people only get 1 square meal a day. Provide us with any sort of assistance. It will be very helpful.
Up next is our special segment, Is It Solved?, where we look at problems faced by the public previously highlighted by Newsfirst and whether the attention of the authorities has been focused on them.
On Thursday, Newsfirst revealed the difficulties being faced by area residents of Kumukunavela in Madrigiriya due to the drought and issues pertaining to the irrigation system. The story caught the attention of some generous benefactors, and all residents of the village received dry rations yesterday. The rations were presented by UMP member of the Madrigiriya Pradeshiya Sabha, HRM Vikramasinghe, together with the Kadawatha branch of the All Island Buddhist Women's Association and a private organisation. When we saw the report through Newsfirst, we decided that we should come here. We understood the difficulties the people are facing when we came here. I invite the public to come here and witness the hardships that they are facing. You will be blessed every time we consume something. We also thank the Sirsa Media Network. On the 28th of August last year, Newsfirst reported of a village in Balangoda whose residents have constantly been duped by politicians and their election promises. The main issue the residents of the Kolkatia were facing was the lack of electricity. However, on the 18th of this month, Minister of Power and Energy Pavitra Vanyarachi fulfilled their dreams by providing electricity to the village.
We got electricity to our village because of the intervention made by the Sirsa Media Organisation. We thank Sirsa TV.
Well, a situation has arisen where the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital is facing a risk of closing its doors to the public due to a prevailing garbage issue.
The Karapitiya Teaching Hospital is the main hospital that caters to the public of the southern province. The hospital environment has become polluted due to issues pertaining to the disposal of garbage.
Clinical equipment are being set ablaze with the use of a burner. It was the Goa Municipal Council that took care of the disposal of garbage from the hospital. However, this has been stalled for over a month. The municipal council will only dispose garbage that is put out from households. We are not committed to dispose clinical equipment and other waste. This has resulted in a situation where patients who arrive here for treatment may be at risk of contracting other diseases. We did not dispose garbage from the hospital on earlier occasions, citing it as a duty. We did it on humanitarian grounds. We suspended this operation because we are not committed to dispose garbage of state institutions.
Hospital authorities say that the items brought in by patients and their well-wishers have thus piled up at the premises.
Just because it falls in our municipality, we are not committed to remove waste from a state institution. If the government has allocated money for a waste management system and they are paying over ₹1 million to a private institution to dispose their garbage, then we don't need to bear that responsibility. The mayor may not be aware of this. Maintenance of the hospital has been vested with a private cleaning institute. That does not mean that they can take garbage and dispose of it somewhere else. According to the municipal council ordinance, that lies with the municipal council. They have received a machine that can burn the waste. The management has not thought of using it. Hand it over to the municipal council. We will burn the waste for them.
The Minister of Health is of the view that a discussion needs to be called to resolve this matter.
A local government authority needs to dispose of the garbage apart from the clinical equipment. The hospital cannot take care of everything, including the disposal of garbage. You cannot point that this is your hospital and this is what you need to do. If the mayor falls sick, he too will have to visit the hospital.
The mayor of Galle says that a political force operating at provincial level has been obstructing the process of garbage disposal and creating such issues. What will happen if the garbage is not disposed soon?
The Government Medical Officers Association and the doctors have reached a decision to suspend the admission of patients to the hospital from Monday if the situation is not resolved.
With that, the clouds taking for Action TV.
Once the new North Central Provincial Council was appointed, its newly elected members and officials attempted to travel overseas using public funds. However, this trip was put on hold upon the orders that came down from the President. Even before the President had granted approval, the Chief Secretary of the province had made payments to an institution belonging to a former provincial councillor in order to purchase airline tickets for the tour. However, he had failed to reimburse the sum of ₹8 million that was made as payment for this purpose. A tour was also arranged for the newly elected members and officials of the new Northwestern Province once they were appointed. This too was put on hold by the President. In April early this year, the Secretary to the President informed all the governors in writing not to allow members of provincial councils and officials to use public funds for non-essential foreign tours. 11 members of the Kurunegala Pradesh Sabha are to depart to Thailand tomorrow, while another 10 members along with the Secretary to the Pradesh Sabha are to depart in the near future. It seems as if the decision made by the President on the wastage of public funds has been taken as a joke at the Northwestern Provincial Council. The Chief Minister of the Northwestern Province has granted approval for the tour of Thailand by the members of the Kurunegala Pradesh Sabha, which has been dubbed as an educational tour. Approval was granted after taking into account a false report which affirms that the tour to Thailand proposed by a member of the Pradesh Sabha was unanimously passed. However, it was not unanimously passed. Some members had voted against the motion as well. The Secretary to the Council also needs to be held accountable for concealing this fact from the Chief Minister of the Northwestern Province. In a backdrop where the tax income of this Pradesh Sabha for this year stands at ₹200 million, the report does not justify how ₹3 million of public funds being spent on a so-called educational excursion will actually benefit the general public. Last year, all members of the Kurunegala Pradesh Sabha except for one went on a tour to Indonesia. However, the general public has not benefited from whatever the members learned during their educational tour. Yet, the grievances faced by the people in these areas continue to grow.
මේ ප්‍රදේශයෙන් වතුර වීදුරුවක් දීලා බලන්න බොණ්ඩ පුළුවන්ද කියලා.
You cannot cast aside that public service needs to go abroad to learn something. Yet, a group that went abroad once, came back with nothing, are attempting to go abroad once again. Are they attempting to use public funds again to learn what cannot be showcased? Shouldn't this be justified as moral before the taxpayers? Chief Minister of the Northwestern Province, this is over to you.
The TNA group touring India met with Indian Premier Narendra Modi in New Delhi today.
The TNA parliamentarians that are touring India noted that India's intervention is necessary to bring about a political solution for the Tamil people. According to Indian media, parliamentarian R. Sambandhan has informed the Indian Premier that pressure has been intensifying within the country.
It is difficult to believe that we will be given a political solution because of the activities of the government. They haven't provided a political solution for the north and eastern provinces, and they are not allowing the Northern Provincial Council to work freely. There are several foreign forces behind the government's activities.
We pointed out that a solution has not been provided for the ethnic issue. We showed them that militarization in our provinces has intensified and that the settlement of Sinhalese nationals has also increased. What will happen to the Tamil people if this continues for another 10 years? We called on the Indian government to intervene immediately. The Indian Prime Minister stated that he has understood the situation and is willing to work with the Tamil people to find a solution.